Government of India has made a statement in your passport calling you an Indian. Shouldn't that be proof enough that you are an Indian? I mean, what logic is this? Why are you again told to, that no, this document won't do? Why are you adding that bureaucratic layer? You have to carry a sack full of proofs to call your motherland yours. And it is not even logical. Because when government wants to control you, like I said, then logic, reasoning and all goes out of the window, which is exactly what is happening. Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. The External Affairs Ministry said that, passport is a travel document. Passport is not proof of citizenship. You can't, just because you have a passport doesn't mean that you are a citizen or the government will accept you as a citizen. They quoted Passport Act of 1967. Passport Act of 1967, while at one end it says that it is issued to every Indian and it is also issued to citizens, Indian citizens abroad. That is what it says at one end. It also says that the government got the rights to issue it to people who are not Indian citizens if it is in the national interest. That also there is a clause in Passport Act of 1967. So the government says that, how can you say? See, whatever the numbers are, but it must have been issued to people who are outside of who are not Indian citizen also. So how can you say that passport is a proof of Indian citizenship? Acha. Now this logic seems to be weird. Because if you all open your passport, in the front page itself, the first word that is written is nationality and Indian. It is written very clearly in your passport. The Government of India writes that you are an Indian in that passport, and when the Government of India writes that you are an Indian in that passport, are you saying that the Government of India has no clue? वो है कि नहीं मालूम नहीं बाबा, मेरे को तो लगता है Indian है, therefore I wrote Indian. Is that what the Government of India is trying to say? When a Government of India issues you a document, is the government responsible for the document or they just issue it because I just wrote, I just felt like it? Is that what the Government of India is saying? Is the Government of India saying that I am absolutely not responsible for the documents I issue, for the certification I issue, for the statement I make? I am not responsible. It could be, it could not be. I don't know, Baba. Is that what the Government of India is saying? Because the Government of India has made a statement in your passport calling you an Indian. Shouldn't that be proof enough that you are an Indian? I mean, what logic is this? What logic is this? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? That there are chances that it may be issued to other people also. So there you don't write nationality as Indian. No. You will write nationality as German or French or Uganda or whatever. Na? Why would you write nationality as Indian? If at all you are saying that there are people who we have issued outside of Indian citizenship. Isn't that a simple logic? But listen, you have an Aadhar card. Mandatory, you have to carry an Aadhar card. But that Aadhar card is not that is not a proof of citizenship. That is for some social welfare and, welfare schemes and all that we can include you in. That doesn't make you an Indian citizen. Okay? Then you have a PAN card. But that PAN card is not, doesn't make you an Indian citizen. That means you are paying taxes. Okay? You have a voter ID. Technically, you have to be a citizen to vote in India, shouldn't you? But you have a voter ID, but that doesn't make you the citizen of this country. That is a voter ID. You can vote with it. You have a ration card. A ration card will give you ration. They will give you ration with it. You can go to a fair price shop and buy your sugar and kerosene and others. But that doesn't mean that you're a citizen. So for me, how many cards do I need to carry? How many proof of documents do I need to carry just to say that I am a citizen of this country? Let's understand law. The law says that to be a citizen of this country, you have to have a birth certificate and a domicile certificate. Birth certificate issued to you by your Jilla Parishad or your municipal corporation and so on and so forth. The domicile certificate issued to you by the state. So that is what the law says. Okay. Now these same certificates needs to be produced directly, indirectly when you are applying for your passport. needs to be produced when you are applying for your Aadhar card, needs to be produced when you are applying for a voter's card, needs to be produced when you are applying for your PAN card directly or indirectly. And based on all this is where a passport writes in your nationality Indian. That is why a passport calls you an Indian. It is not because they just thought, "Theek hai yaar, we'll put you as Indian." No, there are documents to verify that. So once the government has verified the fact that you are an Indian, why are you again told to, that no, this document won't do? Why are you adding that bureaucratic layer? Point one. Point two, a lot of people ask me that, what? Everybody has passport or what? So people don't have passport are not Indian citizens? I am not saying that passport is the only document. Like I said, birth certificate and domicile was also a very valid certification for that to establish the fact that you are a citizen. But pray tell me, do you think every Indian has a birth certificate? Every Indian was born in a hospital or in a setup where they got a birth certificate? Or are you saying that every Indian has a domicile certificate? So that logic applies nowhere. That logic applies nowhere. So the point is, somewhere down the line, other than adding and making things difficult for a citizen, for a person to prove that I belong to this motherland, I presume that the government should be making effort to make it easier for a person to belong to this motherland. Because it is my motherland. How many certificates you want me to produce for that? You see, the point that I am trying to make, when a government wants to control its people, the first thing that the government does is makes you insecure by asking you proof after proof after proof after proof after proof to call your motherland yours. Today, you can't call your motherland yours unless and until you have this proof, that proof, third proof, fourth proof, fifth proof, sixth proof. You have to carry a sack full of proofs to call your motherland yours. And it is not even logical. Because when government wants to control you, like I said, then logic, reasoning and all goes out of the window, which is exactly what is happening. Now another NRC, then a CAA, then something else, then something else, then something else. You are insecure. You are insecure. You don't know what all documents you require to prove, tell the world that you are an Indian. I am an Indian. This was something that I thought was the document that proved it. Now they say no. Now I don't know if I'm an Indian. I don't know if I have the documents enough to say I'm an Indian. And that is not just me, all of y'all, everybody in this country. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why this insecurity being created? So that what? More names can be deleted from the voters list? So that more and more and more and more scrutinies can be done? So that people who may not think or favor one particular ideology or one particular thought process would be deleted? Is this the future? I'm wondering. I'm not saying that is, but I'm wondering. I'm scared. I'm insecure. And I don't deserve to be insecure. I was born in this country and I will die in this country. I don't need to be insecure. I shouldn't be insecure. But I am today, at this age of my life. And that's what I asked the government. Why are you doing this? Is this the new way to control us? Is the new way to make us insecure and therefore control us? Control us by fear? Think about it. This is the point I wanted to make. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.